Is he dead?
I mean frickin' business.
I am a Trekkie.
Kick it in the ass.
Yes.
Kick it in the ass.
Yes. Show all the love to Mr. Clint Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Mr. Ron Howard.
That wakes us up this morning. Thank you.
That's right. Hello, welcome, good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Everybody's good.
Great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Feeding off the energy.
You gotta feed off of this energy. It's a beautiful crowd. Make some noise for yourselves. Yes. We are so glad that y'all are with us to close out this last day of Megacon. How has the weekend been treating each of you so far?
Well, the title, Megacon,
Right.
certainly is appropriate.
Come on now, come on now.
Kat, my wife and I, we stepped into this place and we were just bowled over by the size, and then on top of that, just the real genuine enthusiasm and appreciation for what we do, and it really makes it worth it to come out here and visit.
Love it. Make some noise for that, y'all. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say the same exact thing as what you said, Uncle Clint. You can feel the love, the joy, the enthusiasm for storytelling, for character, and the community that exists because of that. And it means so much to me. It means so much to us. It means so much to everyone who comes here, and is sitting behind the table that you all show up. And it's also, for me personally, it was incredible because I'm here with my family.
Yes.
Yes. It's just great. I love it so much.
I said, this feels like Mardi Gras without the debauchery. It's really, the energy is so great, and this is my first time, at a convention like this. But I'm told it's one of the best.
Absolutely.
And I can see that. So you guys.
Now, considering your impact in film, television, all these wonderful places and spaces, I think the best place to really kind of start this conversation is the beginning. So I got to know, what is the origin story of the Howard family when it comes to acting?
Well, the origin story begins in Oklahoma.
Come on.
It's my mom, whose name was Jean Frances Spiegel. She was born in Duncan, Oklahoma.
That's right.
My father, whose name back in those days was Harold Beckenholt, who was born on a farm in Cedarvale,
right,
and Kansas. Separately in the 30s and into the 40s, they had this dream of being actors. And, Mom wanted to be like Lana Turner, and my dad wanted to be like Gene Autry or Roy Rogers, a singing cowboy. Nobody told him that he couldn't carry a tune, thank God, because he kept up with the dream. They met each other at the University of Oklahoma, and they went on this adventure together, very romantic. It must have scared the daylights out of their families because they had no business believing they could make it in the entertainment world. And yet they did. And then the other thing, when I was born, my dad was directing theater, and they realized that I had an aptitude for this. Mm-hmm. And I started picking up on the dialogue, and they had no enthusiasm for being stage parents per se, but they just felt like, my dad felt like, well, I might not be able to share a lot, but I can share what I know about acting, mm-hmm, with Ron, and then eventually with Clint. And that led to things like, the Andy Griffith Show and Gentle Ben. And the big blessing was we just stayed as a tight family. I'll put in a plug for our book, The Boys,
Yes.
A memoir of Hollywood and family. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about our childhood, and we talk a lot about our parents, who did change the course of our family history.
You've been able to see how entertainment, specifically television, has changed so much. When you first started, it wasn't the buffet of channels that we have today. So did that make things harder to find, like television roles, or was it actually easier because people didn't really go for them?
Well, it's a really good question. I mean, look, as both a consumer, mm-hmm, a producer at Imagine Entertainment, and as a director, I love what's happened. I love that there's a kind of a narrow casting. Mm-hmm. Stories can be more specific, and there are reasons to make stories. Audiences don't have to be so huge, right, for a show to be successful and find a loyal audience and run.
Right.
So that's all all great. By the same token, it doesn't feel any easier. I don't know what the people whose autographs you're getting, they work real hard and they really have to keep hustling.
Of course.
And to try to keep proving themselves over and over again. The competition somehow is higher than ever. And yet I do feel like there's a kind of the globalization of entertainment is a really healthy thing. And I think all cultures are learning from one another, and I think performances are getting better. I think direction is getting better, and and I think us, the audiences, benefit from that.
Absolutely. Make some noise for that, y'all. Absolutely. Now, not to kind of dig in on the Bryce, this is your life kind of moment that we just had, but I'm going to kind of ask, though, when did you become aware of the family's legacy in acting and all these things? Like, when did you first go, wait, we're kind of famous, aren't we?
We were in Tokyo, and we were showing Far and Away to the royal family, and I was 11. And Tom Cruise is, I'm sure you all know this, is extraordinary when it comes to press and fan engagement and all of that, just, absolutely tireless. And he was walking in front of me, kind of like 10 feet in front of me on this red carpet, and, all the fans were excited, and he was waving, and he got a little too close, and his arm got sucked in, and then his entire body got sucked into the crowd. And at that point, I just knew Tom as the guy who works with my dad, and like Nicole, they were awesome. He would do backflips on set to entertain us, like truly, literally, so it was just like, it was like my dad's like young friend,
right.
Kind of. And seeing him get sucked in there and then everyone kind of diving in after him, I was like, is he dead? Like, it was really crazy. And then they pulled him out and he sort of shook it off and then he kept going. And I was like, is this because people love him? Like, it was a really kind of weird moment, but not a bad moment,
Gotcha.
because Tom was right back at it, and you could tell that everyone was, was a very happy energy all around. But I think I sort of saw that and then was like, steer clear. so I was never asking to go to the parties or, any of those things, but on
But you
set,
love going to the set.
Yeah, I was insatiable.
And on Apollo 13, Colin Hanks and Bryce Dallas Howard were our best set PAs.
I can't say that we were the best, but we were very earnestly trying.
That lunch was there, man, for us. The order was put in correctly.
I love it. Now, Clint, you've done some amazingly menacing style characters. Like, I literally have been afraid of Slinkies forever because, see, now he's looking at me. Why does... But what is that trick to create that kind of menacing, almost creep vibe that's just so penetrating as a character?
Well, it starts on the page.
Okay.
It does start on the page.
Absolutely.
All we're given is a character to play. And then, I don't know, there's just part of me that is that guy.
That's hardcore. That's hardcore.
And by God, whether it's Sylvester Stallone,
right,
or one of the kids in the Ice Cream Man, I can look at him and I can tell him that I mean frickin' business.
Make some noise, y'all. Listen. How many of you guys have seen Terrifier 3? Who's seen Terrifier 3?
Yeah.
When you showed up in that one, I was like, Art about to get it. Art's about to get it. You don't talk to Clint Howard that way. So up here we have this brilliant collection of actors, writers, producers, directors. You're all active storytellers. How important do you believe that stories are to our development as a society?
I'll tell one quick story. We were having a family teenage years kind of moment of friction in the Howard household one time, and we were having a family meeting, and it was kind of tense. But the TV was on, just low enough that you could kind of hear it. And it was a rerun of like an 80s or 90s, family sitcom. I don't even remember which one it was.
Probably 7-7.
It was probably a Full House or something like that. But it was a comedy, sitcom.
Okay.
And we're watching, and all of a sudden, at some point, we realized that the thing we were having a serious conversation about was being dealt with on this show. And we stopped, we turned the sound on, and we watched this sitcom, this silly, formulaic sitcom, and it was great, and we laughed, and when it was over, we talked a little bit about it, and it helped us solve a problem, and it was also healing, and I just thought, thank God those sitcom writers, actors, and directors and producers cared enough to get those ideas out there in a funny, entertaining way. It was a salve to us at that particular moment. Not a show that I ever watched with any regularity, but that day, those people's work resonated in our family, and I appreciated it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Absolutely brilliant. We do have a few fan-submitted questions. So Sarah Williams from Orlando asks, as a family of talented filmmakers, what's a piece of advice you each share with one another when working on a new project?
There's a phrase in our family from our grandfather that we always say to each other, which is, you know where to kick it. Do you guys want to finish it?
Kick it in the ass.
Yes.
Kick it in the ass.
Yes.
And it takes courage to just go for something. It's for anyone. It takes courage to exit your house, sometimes. And so to have a family just in that moment, if you're just about to do something, you've prepared, you've done the research, you've had the conversations, you've challenged your biases, you're ready, but you kind of need that shove. And that's, I think, what we all do for one another. You know where to kick it in the ass. And we always say that to each other.
That is a brilliant family motto. I need a crest of that. That needs to happen. That is awesome. We have a question from Liam Green from Tampa. If you could remake any of your family's films with a modern twist, which one would you pick and why?
Hey, Will. Okay, thank you for that.
I mean, I don't think it needs to be remade because it's one of my favorite movies ever. But Cocoon.
Yes.
Cocoon.
Come on.
And if need be, I'll just copy it shot for shot, Dad.
Boy, I'll ditto Cocoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the themes of that movie were really deep and very valuable. And Ron was still a very young filmmaker when he was handed the task of directing Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy and Wilfred Brimley and who was
Maureen Stapleton.
Stapleton.
And Don Amici.
Don Amici. I mean, my goodness, and he handled it so well. I was fortunate enough to be on that set for about half the time, and I was so proud of him. I've been so proud of my brother as he's been a director, but yet, Cocoon too. I
didn't do that one.
No, he didn't do it.
He didn't do that one. So
He didn't do it. So good. Good points for his team.
This next one comes from Rachel Lee from St. Petersburg. This one's for Bryce. You've been in some amazing franchises. If you could join another iconic movie or TV universe, which would it be?
See, here's the thing. I'm a fan first. So I love to be in things that I love, but I don't want to ruin anything that I love. So, I think I am a Trekkie,
Come on now.
I love Battlestar Galactica. I love, there's so many things. I love The Grinch. I love there's so many just conceits in storytelling that are thrilling. So, I'm very zen when it comes to, I'm not too ambitious about it because I'm like, if it happens, it's what's meant to be. But I never want to force anything like that because I wouldn't want to ruin it.
Maybe you want to jump in the Ice Cream Man franchise.
Hey!
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Let's do it. Now, Matthew James asked a question for you, Clint. Says that you've done some fun roles over the years. What's one that still makes you laugh when you think about it?
Oh, boy.
Waterboy?
Yeah. I am not what you would call a handsome man. What? The good Lord chose not to bless me with charm, athletic ability, or a fully functional brain. It was, God, Adam Sandler is special. It was on the page. His leadership, you know, is second to only one. But the Waterboy was fun. It was a great, fun environment.
Yes. Ashley Adams from Jacksonville wants to know, Ron, you've directed so many films. What's a hidden gem of yours that you wish more people talked about?
What's
a hidden gem?
I'm very, very proud of 13 Lives, which I don't know if it's a hidden gem, but it's on Amazon Prime. That's the only place that you can see it. It landed, I don't know, a little over 2 years ago, or just under 2 years ago. And I'm very proud of that movie. So I'm always pushing people to.
It's a brilliant,
wonderful,
glorious, heart-centered film.
Very
but
poignant.
I'm also I've got a few that that sort of underperformed at that time, but have landed in a really great place.
Of course.
Like The Paper.
Yes.
People really like that movie. Or Far and Away is one that underperformed a little at the time, but now it's well regarded. So those are faves of mine.
I love that. Sometimes you're ahead of your time,
Yeah.
We got to catch up to you. That's our fault. That's what it is. Last question. Jonathan Scott from Miami wants to know, if you could all star in a movie together, what kind of genre would it be, and who would play what role?
I mean, it would probably be a comedy of some
Kind of
kind.
have to be.
Yeah.
Kind of be, okay, all right.
I'm not
all right.
sure we could keep a straight face with each other.
I mean, we sort of did that movie with Parenthood, right? Like
A little bit,
Parenthood.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So we get like a remake of that energy, but just in a totally separate thing.
Right.
Can we play around, like, okay, so comedy, yes. Can we put a backdrop to it? Is it comedy in space? Comedy in the West? What are we thinking here?
Floating around,
Yes.
telling jokes. Whoa, that's a good one.
Guys, thank y'all so very much for joining us. It has been an absolute honor to chat with
Beautiful.
each of you.
Thanks.
Megacon, join me one more time. Stand on your feet if you can. Make some noise for the Howard family.